and welcome. You're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. On December 17th, the Verkhovna Rada approved the law on state support of Plast, Ukraine's oldest scouting organization. According to the law, Ukraine now officially recognizes the input of scout organizations in the patriotic education of children. It establishes that executive bodies and local self-government bodies provide material, financial, informational, and consulting support for the activities of Plast and scouting public associations. To talk more about this, we welcome to our studio today Vyacheslav Fetisov. He's an international secretary of the Plast National Scout Organization of Ukraine. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So first of all, let's remind or tell our audience what Plast organization is all about.
So Plast is the National Scout Organization of Ukraine. It's non-political, non-government, and it deals with informal education for youth.
In my intro, I mentioned a law that assures financial support from the state to the Plast Scouting Organization. However, it was voted in this summer, but President Zelensky rejected it, right, on September 4th and sent it back to Parliament for revision. Now, the main objection to the law was, and I quote here, the definition of the Plast National Scouting Organization of Ukraine as the only scouting organization in Ukraine, which creates benefits and privileges for its functioning and receiving state support, and also creates risks that already existing scouting organizations could not continue performing any activity and new ones could not be created. Now the law got amendments. Which of them would you consider to be of the most vital importance?
So the main goal of this law for us was to become the recognition, the state recognition of Plast and Plast movement in the world. And that's why in the second variant of this law we have deleted the point about direct financing of our organization.
So how does the whole financial algorithm is going to happen according to the law from now on?
So in the state budget there is no point of direct financing for our organization, but there is possibility to become financial support for our local branches from the local budgets. But it's not obligatory, and our local budgets should represent their plan of development to become this financing.
Where did Plast get financial support before this law was created and then revised? Was it just the investments from the members of the organization?
Yeah, that is, we used to be self-financed organizations, and maybe 2 or 3 years ago we started to use grants for non-government organizations from different funds, because it's quite hard to reach the sustainable development only with the help of financing from our members.
Right, I agree. Well, now that you have the state financial support, how are you going to spend the money? How are you going to divide which sum goes into which direction?
The main goal for us is to involve as much as it possible volunteers, because there are not enough of them to engage with children, with youth, and it is our main problem. Also, we would like to cover with our branches the whole territory of Ukraine, because now there are not so much branches of our organization in the east and south of the country. So that are our main goals, and we need resources to found new branches, to make trainings for the volunteers, to the candidates, and etc.
How many scouts does Plast organization have membered in right now?
We have more than 8,000 in Ukraine, and all over the world we have about 12,000 because Ukrainians brought Plast traditions in the 20th century during the immigration processes. And Plast also exists in Australia, in United States of America, in Canada, in Argentina, in Austria and Germany.
Recently, the Peace Light of Bethlehem has arrived in Ukraine, and it was delivered by scouts of the Plast organization. Tell us all about it.
So I was present on the ceremony of the Peace Light sharing, and I brought it previous weekend, and we have our own ceremony in the St. Michael's Cathedral in Kiev, and that was a start point of spreading of this light on the whole territory of Ukraine.
You're going to be spreading this light to the regions, to little villages, to churches, and even to the front line, right? We have some sound bites of some scouts, so let's take a listen.
The Piece of Light is a scout tradition which was started by an Austrian TV and radio company together with Austrian scouts. Ukrainian Plast has been taking part in the tradition since 1998. This light symbolizes kindness, peace, and that we shouldn't forget about our loved ones, especially on Christmas Eve. The name of this ceremony is the Bethlehem Light of Peace, Love, and Kindness. These words capture the whole symbolism of this event. Along with the light, we convey the spirit of Christmas, coziness, and peace, everything we can wish each other.
So you just mentioned that there are Plast organizations in the U.S. and Australia. Do you cooperate? Does the Ukrainian branch of the Plast Scout organization cooperate with the ones existing abroad?
Of course, we are cooperating. We developed a plan of sustainable cooperation because Plast in these countries is very important for us. The Plast traditions were saved there, and they brought them back to Ukraine when we reached the independence. And the amount of Plast scouts there is quite big, and only maybe 4 years ago we reached that amount in Ukraine. So we sent our volunteers to them for different trainings, camps, and they sent the scouts to us. And we keep in touch always.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming here today and telling us all about the organization. That was Vyacheslav Fetisov. He is an international secretary of the Plast National Scout Organization of Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching Head to Head. My name is Antonina Androsha. Stay tuned with UATV.